Hey everyone, Kimberly Castleberry here with JustAskKim.com. And I've talked before about how you want to give value and give value and give value. And it kind of gets a little overdone coming from some angles, because a lot of times it's easy to think about we give X so that we get Y back, or we give a ethical bribe so that we get somebody's email. Okay, there's these direct profit lines that coordinate to our giving. But besides that, you've got to get away from that. You've got to, to figure out how to give in such a way that it's not always a direct monetization avenue. You have to be putting energy out there. You have to be putting a motion of giving out there in such a way that, the universe has freed up this energy in such a way that it can bring you the abundance you really want. And so, this is one of my places where I do a little in the lines of charity. And some of you might be seeing this little shorter haircut thing that I got going on. If you followed my road trip story, you know that I got down into the heat of Georgia with no AC in that car, and it was time to put a rush on the haircut that I do every couple of years. And you're probably wondering, why do I wait every couple of years if it's just going to end up short again, or if I'm just going to grow it out again? Well, what I do is that this is all that curl. This is, the 12 inches that was cut off. And the reason for this is my every 2 to 3 year donation to the Locks for Love Foundation. And they use these donations to make hair pieces for children with long-term hair loss. Now, sometimes this is from long-term exposure to cancer drugs, radiation, things like this. Sometimes this is childhood alopecia, where, they have difficulty actually growing body hair. Any number of things can create long-term, childhood hair loss. And it is such a traumatic, such a devastating thing in society, because society is still very judgmental of looks, and it can make a child very self-conscious. And so one of the things that I do is, to make sure that when I get this cut, that I get my little Ziploc baggie here, and I get my little envelope, and I get this envelope, that I've got labeled and it's ready to go out for Locks for Love, and I gotta go get some postage for that at the post office to make sure it's got enough. But I do this every couple years, and this is a donation of something, the universe has given me in abundance, hair, that I can give forward freely, that a lot of people would just, cut and sweep under the, sweep off, just dump it in the trash can. But it's something that is going to mean something to somebody else. And there's a lot of things in our lives like that. There's a lot of things that, we may be at a spot that what we're getting rid of, doesn't mean anything to us. We may be quick to throw something in the trash. But there's oftentimes a lot of people that can benefit from that phase we're moving into, as they're still working to manifest that stuff. And you can take the energy that is that stuff, rather than throwing it away, and let it manifest itself forth in somebody else's life as something that they can really need, really use, really benefit. Is it charity? Not so much. It does have some aspects of charity, we're giving forward. But at the same time, you can simply really help somebody out. And if you're like me, there's been people that have helped you out. There's been lots of people that step into my life from time to time. Here in this last, debacle near my birthday, with all the housing stuff I had going on, and the life crisis and the divorce and stuff, there were some people that stepped up, both in terms of financial and in terms of moral support, just to really be there for me and to really make a difference. And I've had those people throughout my life. I've always had people that when times got rough were there with the little bit of helping hand that I needed, just to give me a hand up. Not so much a hand out, but a hand up. When I was doing my best, when I was giving my all, but I couldn't quite get there on my own, there's always been people willing to make the reach for me. And so I believe that it's very important that when we have any way that we can make the reach for somebody else, particularly when it doesn't take a whole lot out of us, when we have the resources, we manifest abundantly. Most of us live so far, above the basic standard of living in the world, that we don't even understand how much we have. We don't understand how blessed we are. And we have these things that we may be quick to brush off, quick to, toss aside, quick to, not even dig and make ourselves just a little uncomfortable, in terms of resource limitations, to give forward to somebody else and to free that energy up into the universe to bring us further and further abundance. And so I challenge you to find ways that you can bring that energy forward into the world, that you can give and give and give, that isn't always directly a monetization path, that isn't always directly business related, that may not be even at all related to your business, but it frees up this energy and it frees up your heart, and it can really make your heart sing when you have a way, you know, to give to somebody else that really needs. All right, guys, enough of my soapbox. I have to get to the post office. I'm going to mail this off to Locks for Love, where they will use it, you know, to make hair pieces for these children. And, you know, I'm really excited about what I do for this foundation every couple of years. You know, it really warms my heart to be able to help. And I hope that you can find a charity, an organization, you know, a group that you can give to freely that warms your heart as well. All right, guys, Kimberly Castleberry with Just Ask Kim. You have a beautiful day.